because you never know what you're going to get. It's Friday here on Grounded.
Kind of like a box of chocolates, and then sometimes you bite into it and spit it right out. Is there any worse thing than me like, ooh, chocolate, and then you bite into it and you're like, oh, what is this? Pineapple?
Pineapple nougat. I was just going to say pineapple.
I was going to say, actually, oatmeal raisin cookies when you think they're chocolate chip.
I'm with you on that one.
Makes me
That's
so
why I
sad.
have trust issues.
Anybody that does that to me should get immediately punched in the mouth. Just, that's it right
Anybody
there.
that looks at an oatmeal raisin cookie and thinks it's chocolate chip deserves what they got coming.
No, here's the worst.
Touche.
Let's bring back late 70s. It's not a chocolate chip cookie. It's a carob chip cookie.
Oh, that's right.
Carob. Where's carob these days?
Did anybody else grow up with that?
Actually,
I had carob.
Carob is popping at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
I had like the peanut butter that they
Whole
were
paycheck?
making.
Oh, they're horrible.
Oh,
They're
my
horrible.
goodness. Yeah. You know what I grew up with?
Oh, my
Wheat
gosh.
germ in the pancake
Yeah.
mix.
Did you ever have those little sesame seed candies? Did you eat those ever?
Oh, yeah.
It's like regular candy. Do you remember those? It's sesame seeds in like
Man.
some sort of
Syrup.
Yeah, it was
that's been
horrible.
hardened. Oh, and then, listen, you could pull a filling out with one of those. You bite into that, it's not coming undone.
Yep, it's permanent.
It's
like my good friend, the Chico stick. Remember the Chico sticks?
Sure.
That was like before Butterfinger. I think that's what's inside of Butterfinger.
Oh, just the
But
flaky peanut butter filling?
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah. Yep.
Orange.
And you could eat on that thing for like
it
a day and a
shatters.
half.
Remember
Shatters.
Now
The
Laters?
second you bite into it.
Absolutely.
Aren't those the same way?
Yeah,
You,
Now and
you try to bite into a noun later and be like, oh no, I got
Goodness
stuck.
isn't
They
it?
still
I
make
got
those.
stuck.
Yeah.
You know what? My young childhood was in Canada, and we had
Wait,
different
what?
Did
Did I know
different
this?
candies.
You're
Did you not know that?
Canadian.
I'm Canadian.
That makes so much sense.
You're Canadian?
No wonder you hate Chael Sonnen. You're
Yes,
Canadian.
I'm Canadian, eh?
That's why.
When did you go Canadian?
Yeah,
That's like, when did you go native?
When did I go? Yeah, absolutely.
Did you hear that? When did you go Canadian?
I didn't know that you were Canadian.
It was a fallback.
That
When
should
did
have
you
been a
go- Yeah,
choice. Maybe,
yeah.
Did you get married into it? How does that
Yeah,
work?
no, I mean,
Do you have dual citizenship?
just yeah.
You do?
Really?
Yeah.
So you could go there for healthcare?
Yeah, so depending on how things go in the next year or so, I might start using the Canadian passport.
Could I be your son?
What's that?
Could I be
Could
your
you adopt
son?
all of
Yeah,
us?
absolutely. Yeah, if you guys ever need like a major surgery.
Did you know Sam and I are
Let me
twins?
know.
Yeah,
We
that
are
means you
beautiful.
take one, you got the other. Right
Yeah,
there.
that's quite the pair.
He was just born much later than me.
Yes.
Yeah, he had
It was at
wow, this is going to go
least-
so downhill so fast.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
not
idea
gonna
where
go
we're
there.
rolling.
I haven't even told people this is grounded. If you're
Yeah.
listening, you know. Yeah.
Hi.
What show is this?
It's
Who are we?
it's about to get stupid in here. And by
Friday.
stupid,
About
I
to
literally means, about to get.
It's Friday.
It got stupid the moment we started. It's like a box of chocolates.
I like that one.
I watched Castaway last night.
That's an
Tell
amazing
tell
movie.
everybody who's in the studio.
Oh yeah, like people don't recognize. Michael Calhoun. Calhoun.
I am Calhoun.
Wait, Calhoun 2012.
That's right.
Calhoun 2012.
Hey,
What's
don't
up
forget,
with that?
Dude, it's on.
Hey,
Listen,
Florida
you know
tomorrow.
what? He's waiting. Calhoun's waiting for everybody, all the candidates, to shoot themselves down.
That's
and
right.
just
So
slip
he
in the
can
back.
slide in.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
at the
gonna
last moment. I'm Calhoun.
I'm gonna float in like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Yeah.
Did you
Who
write
wrote that for you? Hey. Pre-program talk.
That's an
Inside
original.
joke.
That's an original.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely original.
MT, Michael Tomlinson.
Sir.
Yep, in here. Producer Whitney.
Hey.
Wow.
She was like, hey.
You're doing fine.
That
Whitney
just happened.
texted me this morning. She's like, I'm going on day 4 of a migraine. And I'm like, you had one last week? Because you seemed okay on Friday.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I
No,
kept
she
saying I have a migraine, and you were like, "Oh, sorry."
When she first came in, she was like,
Because
I'm doing
passion. Yeah. Real compassion.
Yeah. Your mouth was moving. All I heard was blah, 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 blah,
I know.
blah, blah.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
wah, wah, wah,
difficult.
wah,
I'm used to
wah,
it.
baby.
Sam Bhatt, back for more.
Sam Bhatt. I feel like I was just here.
You were.
Because you
For
were.
Free for All Friday, was it?
Yeah, you were. And I'm
hurt
Ryan
good.
with Toben.
Yep. Hello.
Do you know, I honestly, this came out of my mouth today because I'm going to talk about our interns. Intern Andy is here, who's videoing. By the way, the
Yes.
videos look good.
They look awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did
I
you,
was sitting in your office
That's
when you were playing
right.
it. Yeah.
have you seen it yet, Whitney?
That's a negative.
It's good. I think people are going to be like, that's what you look like when you're talking? Oh, no.
Whoa.
I've lost so much respect for the program. As the cymbal crashes and I'm making my head shake along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of animation. There's a lot of movement in the
Yeah.
studio when you're talking.
It is un-Imus-esque.
Yes.
He's a little
Does
more
his
stoic.
face move? Has it just like solidified into
A
shoe
mask?
leather?
It's like a glacier. It's actually
Shoe
moving
leather with
very
a hat.
slowly over time,
yes.
forming new wrinkles.
talking
and
beef
lines.
jerky.
Yeah.
There you go. I was trying to figure out what. Yeah.
You know,
Does that mean? I don't
so
care.
gross.
The video reveals that I'm the only one who is not as cool with a MacBook in front of me.
There are 5 MacBook Pros in here except for Calhoun.
How many iPhones? 1, 2, 3,
I
4?
can join that. club.
Oh!
Hey.
Producer Whitney with the
that a
BlackBerry.
They still make those?
Does it
Oh
use
my
Morse
gosh, are we
code?
gonna talk about this literally every
Does it
day?
use Morse code?
Oh, man.
You got a 1.8 megapixel camera on that
It's
one.
on the
That's
DOS
amazing.
operating
I
system.
don't use
Oh,
it.
that's awesome. Do they have the Pony Express app?
Does it have DOS?
I'm pretty sure they do.
They do.
Pretty sure they do.
Is it running DOS 2.0? Does it have a serial cable input?
You know what? You can plug it into one of those old school printers that like has the like little hanging chads on the edge.
Oh, yes.
Dot matrix.
Dot matrix.
For those that were born in the 80s.
No, it's got one of those thermal printers like the, This is all before Whitney was
I'm
born.
too young for any of
Yep,
this nonsense.
totally.
You guys are dating yourselves.
Oh, I'm old. I know that. Goodness gracious.
Man,
I'm
ask your
totally
phone
old.
about it. It'll tell you.
Oh, my goodness. No, you don't need a writer for that,
man.
Michael Calhoun.
I think
Man.
those still have the green screen, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Love it.
This is not ever going to get funny
Give
for
me
me.
just-
Whitney knows this, though, because
have to breathe.
she's like, oh, any way I can get out of the program today. And I was like, yeah, whatever. We got enough people here. Your boss, John Bornstein, totally stood me up.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
invited him. He won't come in.
Well, he's sick today.
Yeah, whatever. He's like, I just got back from a trip. I'm exhausted. I need family time. Family time.
At 9:30 in the morning.
Family time. What is-
Families, come on. That's important.
That's not what we do here.
Yeah, why would we?
Don't be silly.
Listen,
Why would we
what's more
care?
important, family time or talking about Super Bowl and UFC? Yeah.
That's a toughie.
He's got a bunch of kids.
He
Are
was
they even gonna
obviously
know?
in a bit of
Like-
a pickle.
Like, tell the rest of them, oh, I was with your sister, and then tell them I was with, I was with someone else.
Pass it around.
That's true.
I had to spread
That would
the
be a
love.
trade secret.
Oh, sorry. I only got
You gave it
2.
away.
I only got 2. They know. I was with your sister. No, you weren't. Yeah.
The beauty of 3.
Dad, where were you? I was with Audrey. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're never around. I was with Emma.
Yep, that's right.
You just got to play it off.
For the listeners, they're getting lessons in
shuffling.
built-in alibis.
Yeah.
It's like
That's right.
I love it.
So, but my thought was, sure, Whitney, you don't have to be on the air. I'm going to talk about it half the time, but it's okay. Because that never grows old for me either.
And then I thought about it and I said,
Yeah, so we've got 2 interns. We got intern Melissa. By the way, if you want to win as an intern, she went home for Christmas to California, came back. She brought me Trader Joe dark chocolate covered almonds.
and she brought me Trader Joe's Mediterranean hummus, my favorite thing in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. Someone doesn't realize that the vibrator's on the phone. You do understand that. You know whose phone that wasn't? Whitney's, because it doesn't do that.
It does, but I turned mine off because I'm smart.
Yeah. Because we're smart. Yeah. Dark chocolate covered almonds. Listen, they're so good. The first time I bought them, I was driving home. I drove through Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's the last Trader Joe's on the way home. And I tried them. And then I had this moral dilemma of, do I even tell Laura I've got them? Because I don't want to share.
Oh, wow.
They're so delicious, I might deprive my wife of I felt so guilty because I really considered it.
Do you remember when
Then I went home and told her. I was like, you can have as many as you want. It's
Do you
okay.
remember when we were in Phoenix and you swung by
Yeah,
and we went to the Trader Joe's and
Yes.
you loaded up?
totally.
I think we had 2 shopping carts.
Did
that
you
trip.
know they're coming to Denver?
they're
Boulder.
starting out in Boulder.
Boulder.
Oh, Boulder.
Starting in
What?
Boulder. I know.
Oh,
If it was Denver, I'd take the trip up regular.
That's
We had
sad.
2
I
shopping
do it once a
carts.
month.
Boulder's like the Great
and
Chasm.
coolers.
I'm
I
going
had
up
2
once a
shopping
week,
carts
so
and
if you
2
guys-
coolers
Just give me a
that I
list.
filled up from Trader Joe's every
Nice.
time.
It was amazing.
Nice. See, I have to avoid things like chocolate-covered almonds because my brain tricks me into thinking they're a little bit healthy, and then I'll
They
eat
are a
like
little bit healthy. A little
bag of
protein.
them at once, just
Right.
like
Yeah.
put it
Chocolate's
away.
supposed to be good for you.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
It's an
See?
antioxidant.
You know what was
These are
not
the
good
dang-
for me?
well,
Some
that's
bacon
dangerous.
pancakes I made over the weekend.
No, those are not.
See,
good.
Sam at first was like, that sounds gross. Then I showed him a photo and he's like, oh no, that's
Yeah,
really
that actually did look-
That sounds
it looked
amazing.
really good.
And here's the key though. You can't just go grab some Bisquick and make pancakes.
No, you can't.
The Pioneer Woman, pioneerwoman.com, Ree Drummond, has 2 of my favorite recipes ever. The pancake recipe is amazing.
Yep.
High altitude, you need a little bit more liquid, otherwise they're gigantic.
It's a sponge.
Yeah. Her cinnamon roll recipe is
Is that the one you've adopted?
yes.
It's epic.
Yeah, it is.
It's insane.
It makes Cinnabon look like one of those really, really bad half-eaten churros you find on the ground at Disneyland.
My goodness.
Also delicious. Also delicious.
Yeah, they are.
Been there, done that.
5 seconds.
Which are also delicious.
Little kids like drop Calhoun. I'm in.
Little gravel ain't gonna kill anything.
Yeah.
Back
But
off,
we have
Junior.
brand new intern Andy, who's running the video cameras, and we needed extra camera. I had one in my truck, and he's like, I don't know if you have time to go to my truck. I'm like, I don't, but I have time for you to go to my truck. I literally said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what we deal with, people. This is
Yeah,
what we
it's
deal with.
It's true.
Yeah, send your emails.
I watched the documentary Conan O'Brien Can't Stop, which was right at the end when he got pulled from The Tonight Show.
Okay.
Up until 2 weeks before he started the new program, and it's their live tour. It's fascinating. He swears way more than I was expecting. So does Andy Richter. Goodness gracious, you are not expecting that. That is...
It's a potty mouth.
it just was unexpected. That's all I have to say. But Conan is super, super driven, and so he's really nice on TV, and
intense.
at times off camera, he's not that nice. He's fairly
Yeah.
intense. And I looked at that, I'm like, I wonder if that's how the people that work for me feel. I wonder if every now and then they're like, hey, you know what? You're not that cool.
Hey, you're cool to me.
To the Calhoun.
Bacon pancakes sounds really good, though.
They were so delicious. Oh, man.
Invite me over.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Hook a brother up.
We should have.
You know, the
breakfast
other morning,
one.
that morning, I was like, Lincoln, I am so hungry. And he goes, maybe you should make some bacon.
Of course.
That's awesome.
That's a good
Like,
go-to.
you're my
That's good
son.
that your
It's
it's good that your
Yeah.
young son is already there. I didn't
Oh,
make
he
that
loves
connection until I
bacon.
was like 14.
Delicious. Okay, this staff picks and friend picks because you're not Sam and Calhoun don't work here.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Super Bowl and UFC 143. Condit Diaz. Let's do Super Bowl first. Is that cool? We're 12 and a half minutes in.
I'm with you.
Haven't talked about that one time. Now, here's the deal.
Okay.
Okay. Patriots Giants?
Yes, Ryan.
Very
We've only been
good.
talking about
All
it for
right.
a week.
I know.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the cities which they are from?
Dun, dun, dun.
The Patriots are from New England.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Giants.
Come on.
I don't have
For
any
it.
idea.
That would be.
They both have a new in the title.
New York?
Yeah.
Wait, it's an all East Coast Super Bowl?
It
Yep,
is.
It is.
Womp, womp, womp.
It's a repeat of 2007.
Boy, the
It
Patriots
is.
just spanked the Broncos.
Yeah, but they're going to be the Super Bowl champs.
That was
so it's,
painful.
it makes
Wasn't that
sense.
painful?
Okay, here
You
we
know,
go.
I actually went to the first Patriots Denver game when they were in Denver, and if Denver didn't have 3 turnovers, I think they would have won.
Yeah, I think
I
you're
really
right.
think they would
They
have
would
won.
have won.
Tebow.
Yeah.
Careful.
You didn't turn it
Absolutely.
over.
Hey,
all 3
and just so you
times.
know, that last game against the Patriots, I like to take the Vince Lombardi approach to looking at that game and really just say, the Broncos didn't lose that game. Tebow didn't lose that game. He just ran out of time. That's all it was. You just ran out of time.
Wow, that's
Eventually, he would have
Okay,
come
here's
back.
the deal. Here's the problem. This is gonna come full circle.
2015.
It's gonna come full circle. Cesar Gracie is Nick Diaz's coach.
Right.
From Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
Said the exact same thing. The only time Nick loses fights is because he runs out of time. Yeah, if you put him in a dark alley, he's coming out on top every time.
Well, here's the thing: you don't win fights. That's
Wait,
the
wait,
bottom
wait.
line.
We haven't wrapped up our
You're not
football
winning the fight
discussion
if you're running out
We
of
haven't
time.
started the football discussion.
Yeah, let's go back
Well,
to
I
that.
guess I made a good case for
That's all I
Patriots
want.
winning and
that's the
Broncos
sole
lost as
amount
the
of
Super
time
Bowl
I'd like to
champs.
talk about
That's
football. We can't just.
think so.
Can I just say
quite
we've
get away
talked
with
about
that.
football? I just go around and you'd be like, who you think's gonna win? Then we're out.
No.
Yeah, that's what he says to me. I'm like, we should have staff picks about the Super Bowl. And he goes, I don't have anything to say about that. Can we add UFC to it?
Yeah.
Invite all these people that listen to you or
Sprinkle
watch,
with a little
listen to UFC. Watch
UFC.
UFC.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Make it tasty.
Football is played with a
By the way,
pigskin.
what's the
Speaking
program
of skin, fighting gloves.
No,
are made of
hang
leather.
on, hang on. What's it called?
It's called Grounded.
Yeah, what's it really called? Come on. Come on, say it. You know you want to.
She's holding back.
She is holding back.
Someone's about to get fired.
Go ahead.
Say it.
Grounded with? Yeah. It's all right. It's okay. Yeah. Man, I sound like a gigantic egotist right there. I'm just.
Okay, so here's what I think.
My head can't even fit in the door. It's so gigantic.
First of all, the Giants beat New England once already this year. Second of all,
What's extenuating circumstances, Calhoun?
Well, I was just going to
I can
say,
look at his face.
why don't
They
you just
beat 'em.
check the last time they lost twice to the same opponent in the same year?
Yeah, it's not.
It's been a while.
It's been what?
been
4
2 years
years?
Like
ago,
4 or
and it
5
was the
years.
4 or
Pittsburgh
5
Steelers,
years since
right.
that's happened.
2 years ago.
Yeah, they adjust.
someone's been playing some
The
fantasy
Patriots
football.
are good at. I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm a Denver Broncos fan. And I just want them to lose to the Super Bowl champs. I want that the way the season ended. So I'm a little biased here. I'm with Sam on this.
Here's the thing. You know that you're reaching when it's like, well, we lost, but we lost to the champion.
I don't know.
I think they've got some
case to be
confidence
made.
coming into
Still
the game.
lost.
Okay,
The Giants.
the Giants.
I think they're coming in confident. If they would have
Why?
lost to New England earlier in the season, it'd be different. But I think they come in with a little bit of swagger. I think Eli Manning is playing exceptionally good football right now,
Yeah.
and I think they're hungrier.
Well,
I think they're hungrier for the win than the.
Yeah, let me just say,
Patriots are.
I hear that. I've heard that adage used a lot. It's about who wants it more, and it has nothing to do with that.
absolutely. It's
Really?
a
Yeah.
factor, but
Listen,
it's
you
not.
put a bunch of kids from an orphanage and say you're all going to get adopted into billionaire homes if you win this game against the Bears. They want it more, and they're going to get trampled.
Oh my God!
well, I mean,
White American
That's a
parents.
crazy
That's
stretch.
They're ridiculous.
you know what? You know what? I will. I will.
Engineer Mike, am I wrong?
Too.
Yes.
Nobody can hear
Engineer
him.
Mike says no.
Silence.
So we
Yeah.
assume he agrees.
It makes me sound like a bad guy. Does not make it less wrong.
Calhoun's got to make a point.
here's
though.
the
Who's
deal.
hungrier?
I agree.
Listen, don't make me go down that road.
I agree with Toben. I agree with Toben about his analysis of the Giants is spot on. The only thing I was going to say is that they seem to play better when they don't have everybody thinking they're on top. In the middle of the season, their coach was about to get fired.
He's about to get fired every year, and
You know,
he's never
exactly,
going to get fired.
Engineer Mike
and that's
says that
the
about
point.
Whitney.
Is when
He
they're
likes Whitney's
up
point.
against the wall, it seems like when they seem to
But don't
really
you think
turn
they're still
on.
going in as the underdog? They're not.
They're not actually. They're picked to win.
They're picked to win. Wow. Yeah.
So,
They are
so the
favored.
Patriots are the underdog, and I think
is
the
bad for the
Patriots. I
Giants.
think
Bad
they,
for the Giants,
I
yeah.
think
Very bad,
Tom
actually.
Brady seems to light just a fuse gets lit under Tom Brady anytime he's not the one everybody's talking about.
He is
Yeah.
lit
That's what happened
up.
with Tebow and the Broncos.
And the
They talked
Broncos,
about
they-
Tebow all week long. Nobody
right.
talked about Tom Brady.
Brady.
3-time MVP, all this good stuff. Nobody talked about that.
See, but the thing about the hungrier concept, you look at the Super Bowl they played in 07, 08, right?
Yeah.
The Patriots were picked to win hands down.
Hands down. Yeah.
I mean,
They were
they went
dominant.
18-0 regular and postseason.
Right.
And then there was the Super Bowl, and it was with the Giants, and it was with a young Eli Manning. It was completely one of those games where you thought they were going to get trampled.
Yep, unknown.
And the Patriots came in with complete confidence, like they were going to just tool this team, but then they got stomped.
Yeah.
That's
And
embarrassing.
It's heartbreaking.
It's embarrassing when
Well,
you
they didn't get stomped.
underestimate.
Yeah, it was-
The Giants were competitive, which they weren't.
You see
supposed to-
fighters do
right.
that. They'll
Yeah,
underestimate
that's
their
very true.
opponent and then
Yep.
get beat and then make excuses later. And you're like, ooh, no. Just, you lost.
Yep.
Okay,
but I
everybody
agree
did.
that
On
I
any
think,
given Sunday, that's why they said
I
that.
do think it
Any
will
given
be a
Sunday.
good game no matter who wins.
Let's hope
I
so.
actually think it will be a good back and
I hope
forth.
so, yeah.
I really do.
I'd like to see some offense.
Who's picking what?
Who wants to take a bet that I won't be watching?
What?
Not
you
even
got
for
to
the
watch even for the
commercials?
commercials,
Shocked.
man. The
I can
commercials.
watch the commercials online afterwards without having to sit through all the football.
Wow.
This is going to be good
Okay, so I'm
football.
taking
It hurts my
Giants.
soul.
This is going to be
Yeah.
good.
Listen, good football
I threw up in
is
my
never
mouth
as
a
good
little
as
bit
bad
when you
fighting.
said that.
That's my boss.
Okay, come on,
Thanks,
let's get our picks
Hurts
out so we
my
can
soul.
brag about
Patriots.
it. Okay,
I'm saying Patriots.
Tobin,
I got Giants.
MT.
Actually, sadly, I am picking the Patriots to win, not because I want them to, but because for the reasons that Calhoun stated, that the Patriots 3 weeks ago were slated to run the boards. 2 weeks ago, there was some word of a competition happening between the Giants, and today it's pretty much even boards.
Yep.
I think that the Giants are playing terrific, but they've played their best football. And Tom Brady scorned is probably the best quarterback in the
Agreed.
NFL.
Let me ask a
and
question.
And it is a quarterback-driven league.
Let me ask a
Agreed.
question before
I
we
just
move
threw
on
up
to
in my
Whitney.
mouth.
The odds, all that, how much of that is controlled by Vegas so they can make more money? Because if you had just blowout odds and it's like, meh.
Probably,
I mean, the more even it is, the more betting's going to happen, right?
Probably a lot of it. But you've heard of, okay, even you who don't like football, you've heard of Joe Montana?
Of course.
Who's
Okay. Joe Montana
That's what he's
has a
thinking in his
record
head.
that has stood for a very long time that Tom Brady, I guarantee you, Tom Brady will be breaking before he retires.
Hands down.
And it's a record for the most playoff wins ever of anybody. And it's the gap was huge, too.
may
So
break
Joe
every
Montana
record.
had like a...
If he doesn't get hurt.
Absolutely.
Well, he had one that 08. He got hurt in the first game, first regular season.
Yeah, we broke his clavicle. We being the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It was a dirty play.
Ownership of the
MT
broken
has this-
clavicle over here. That's
MT
awesome.
has this Steelers logo in the back window where when the car moves, it lights up. So the other day, I come and I'm like, what's...
It's a beacon of hope.
I was here late.
Beacon
Oh, yeah?
of hope.
I was here late, and there's a light on in MT's car, and I'm like, what are you doing in your car at 9 o'clock at night, dude?
Propaganda, really.
And pulled over, and this thing's lighting up, and I'm like, Steelers, huh, okay.
Motion activated.
Yeah, the wind had been blowing the car, and that's what motion activated it.
Did it hurt a little bit when the Broncos kind of?
No, because it was almost a mercy killing. I mean, we were so beat up. You know, you've got a quarterback. We talked about a quarterback-driven league. He's got a broken neck, a broken foot, 4 broken
Jeremy
ribs.
Roethlisberger?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you support the Steelers with him as the QB?
I
Hearsay.
second that question.
Hearsay.
You don't.
Whatever.
You say that
he
tongue in
didn't.
cheek,
People say
right?
that about Tom Brady too, though. I mean, he's
There are a
Yeah, Tom
lot
Brady-
of scumbag
there.
players in the NFL.
no
I'm not saying
peace.
So that makes it okay.
It's just
No,
who's
no, of
got
course
the
not.
highest profile, who's got the most,
Engineer Mike wants to
visibility.
chime in.
I think
do
that
love Mike
it is
Tomlin,
it is a great story of recovery for a young man who was given a lot of money. And
Has he
no
recovered,
rules.
or
I
he's
agree.
just not in the press
Oh,
as
no, he-
much?
absolutely. I mean,
he's just
No, it's
Got a
not.
better
maybe
publicist?
smarter.
doesn't go to
yeah.
the same bars
Let's
anymore.
not his opinions
Yeah.
without some facts. He
Let's
is
be
married
real.
now.
He called Kobe and said, "Can you help a brother out?"
Oh, no, he's married. He's very controlled.
He
in his
is?
environment.
Roethlisberger's married?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he got
Yeah.
married last year.
Who did he
He
pay?
has a very controlled.
Poor
He was
boy.
paying Michael Jackson, Lisa Marie Presley money on that.
Yeah, that might have been.
No.
Well, I'm going to say it's the Patriots going to win Super Bowl.
So basically,
Producer Whitney, we've not talked to you
Right, what's your pick?
I say Giants all the way.
because you're down. You're into this.
I will never root against a Manning unless they're playing the Broncos. But I say Giants all the way.
Am I supposed to introduce you to Tebow for the Wed Whitney Wednesday? Is that what's happening?
That's great.
You know, I'm never. We have a year to talk about this. Don't be embarrassed anymore.
Do you have this undying love for Tebow?
No.
He's a fetus. He's too young for me.
He's a fetus. That just came out.
He's so cute, though. I mean, if he was older, by all means, but he's a little young.
He's how old? 25?
24?
24? And
Look, she
you're a
knew.
whole
She knew.
five
She
years.
knew.
She knew the
She was
age,
doing
didn't
the
she?
math
She'll be
at
needing
some
that.
point.
She's a whole.
She was
Because
like
people
24.
talk
She's gonna be
people
needing that
literally
gap.
say this to me all the time. They're like, "Oh, you should date Tim Tebow. He's a Christian." I'm like, and
Goodness.
thanks.
He's the only.
That's literally
That's like you should
the
date that
thing.
guy. He's white.
I think he has a hidden girlfriend, to be honest with you.
You don't understand how often I get this living in Denver, and every last person is like, "You should."
As if you could just pull
Like it's
that.
that
You know.
easy.
Yeah.
Snap
Yeah.
your fingers.
I should. Hey Timmy.
You know what? You're correct,
Yeah.
Tim. Let's make this happen.
Well, he's been calling. You've just been turning him down.
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah.
All right, Sam Bhatt.
Sam Bhatt.
Obviously, I do believe it's going to be a good game. I think it'll be close. I do believe the Patriots are going to come out on top.
I think not.
Engineer Mike.
We can pull it away.
Giants. Manning with 15 touchdowns in the fourth quarter versus a patchwork secondary that hasn't, and a quarterback who hasn't faced any defensive pressure. With the Giants playing defense the way they've played the last 4 games, Giants.
Amen, brother.
Okay, so
Quarterback
you
that's
got
It's interesting because Mike said that to me
pressure?
as if I would know what he's talking about.
Mike,
What?
there's no defense Tom Brady hasn't shredded in the course of his career. I mean, there's literally no
Or this year.
defense.
I seem to remember. I seem to remember a very similar Giants team that was middle of the year in 2007 was bad. Defense picked up at the end of the year and ran through everybody.
Do you know that Michael Strahan's not on the Giants anymore?
True, but Jason Pierre-Paul is.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, Pierre Paul.
Yeah.
Killing it this
He's
year.
a beast. You know, when you got the extra last name, it really makes a big
It does.
It's huge.
That's where it's
Double
at.
tough.
Maurice Jones-Drew. I mean,
And we
I'm
got
telling you.
Andrews.
It like takes it up a
Manager.
level.
Hakeem Nicks. We're doing it.
Oh, look at it. She's owning it.
So it's going to be Whitney Ohman. What's the second?
What?
It's to be
Tebow.
determined.
Tebow.
Whitney
Whitney
That's a
Ohman,
little
Tebow.
awkward.
I don't know if I like that one.
Ohman Tebow.
I do
not-
love my
you're
last
not-
name though,
Omen
so I'm not
Goldman.
sure I want to switch it.
You're not keeping the last
You know what
name.
Goldman's
Really?
name?
Guys,
just
I'm
made-
not even dating anyone. It's
You
really
just
not a big
made
deal.
Wed
It's really
Whitney
not
Wednesday
actually.
that much harder. Now every guy that's like, oh, really? Keeping the
one of
name.
them.
Oh,
It'll just be my
Keeping the
stage
name.
name.
Hey, I know a
thought that
few
was Lady
guys.
Gaga.
I know a few guys that aren't Tebow,
That are Christian?
that are a little older and Christian.
Do you? See, I have.
I actually do.
Honestly, I
have
know
Ryan's
so-
useless
I
in
have
this
two
department.
I am. I'm
Christian
so
single
useless
friends.
because I have so few high quality
Yeah,
Christian
see?
guys that I would be like, oh no, they'd be great. They're leaders and they've got jobs and they got future plans and
Yeah.
you know that kind of thing. Girls on that side, they're everywhere. They're
Oh, see,
everywhere.
I think it's the opposite. I've been trying to figure out who I can
Now,
set up
Calhoun
these
was my
two
last
guys with.
one.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he married Jen.
It's true.
I met her for the first time at my not my 40th birthday.
Wow.
50th.
It wasn't 40th.
Wow.
Was it 39?
We can't remember your 40th that clearly. I actually think it was your 40th.
Oh, it was because we
No.
were bowling up at
Yeah,
the.
was that the bowling?
Yeah.
Then that was that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
She had on crazy high heels.
Always.
Yeah, red.
I love her.
Oh yeah, you and
Always.
Jen
Oh my
would
gosh,
get
we can be
along
friends.
in the
Yeah.
shoe department. Yeah,
Always.
I remember
Okay.
thinking, how do you walk on those?
I got to tell you, with that, she rolled her ankle a few weeks ago, and the worst part about it isn't like that she's immobile or in pain. It's that I'm making her not wear high heels for a few weeks just so that her ankle can heal properly.
That's why she's
and she's
upset.
broken the rule twice.
Women take that seriously.
Yeah.
Hey, I would
Like
still be
Joanne?
wearing them. I'd be like in a cast and still wearing heels.
Joanna's
Yeah,
in a
she
cast,
hates- she
and
hates not having
she
heels.
actually took a pair of high heels and she set them out like decoration because she wants to wear high heels so badly. Wow. Everything in her.
Isn't that
But
amazing?
Not happening.
It's amazing.
Okay, so did Sam pick? Did you pick?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, he
the only
picked
thing I'm
the-
worried
It's 3
about
and 3.
is I'm worried about the Patriots defense. That's the only thing I'm worried
Because
about.
they're
I'm
terrible.
not. Any defense in the NFL can be good for one game.
Yeah, but
Just
But
for
not
one
the
game.
Patriots.
or
defense.
bad for one
Let's be
game.
real.
Yeah,
This could-
exactly.
Hey,
This could be
they
their
did
moment to
okay
shine.
against the Broncos.
They did, but it was the Broncos. I
And
mean,
that was,
you know.
it's funny because it was.
the leading rushing team in the NFL this year.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter.
No,
No.
period. That's the thing. They held
it's
the
overall.
leading rushing team.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It just still seems so bad.
That's
Yeah.
because Tebow did half the rushing.
yeah, but either no, that's true. That's
I mean,
that's true. But here's the deal.
Is your
Even
punter,
so,
you
even
know you have a
so.
good
I mean,
team. It's
statistics.
true.
The statistics are what they are. It's
They
a
are
good
what they
rushing
are.
team.
You're right.
But you've got to look into the statistics. It's like the book
Next
Freakonomics.
year there will be
you
no
got to look
Tebow
into
surprise.
Yeah.
I remember a guy named
No,
Cordell
because I'm
Stewart.
expecting it.
Tebow surprise sounds like a really
Stewart.
bad
Who threw
diner
the
meal.
league for a loop when he was
What are you gonna have tonight?
quarterback
I'm having
and
the
then a
Tebow
receiver.
surprise.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
that ended after a year.
You know what though? For a guy who didn't have an off season, a true off season because of the lockout,
I agree.
he learned a whole new offense on
I
the
like
fly.
And I will say
did
that
that well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying,
I
give him
would
a full
agree.
off season. I'm really actually excited for what the
Fox
future
needs to
holds.
invest in an offensive line so that he
How
doesn't
about-
have to scramble.
And how about a couple
yeah, our
more
offensive
receivers?
line is
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, he needs some
he
receivers.
really has pretty slim pickings with receivers.
He really
so,
does. It's sad.
You know.
It's sad.
I'm
We've
sorry.
always been good
Sorry,
at
we
running
should shift to
backs,
fights.
but
I feel
That's
bad.
all right.
I feel bad because Ryan's like,
you know what? Here's the thing. The funny thing is, I find it funny because I literally have no. You're talking a completely
Yeah,
different
it's-
language. Like you say, like if you had a real off season, I'm like, what? Why does that matter? I don't.
Oh, yeah.
In a lockout, I'm like, what? Did they do
He
that
didn't get
too?
to practice with the team, so
Yeah.
he didn't get any training
And-
whatsoever.
and
then
it's a
the
brand
first
new
couple
offense.
games that he played, they didn't try to change the offense at all. So
Yeah.
they were trying to fit him into their mold, and the guy is just not built for that.
yeah. They found
So
that,
you could
they found
liken
the
that to fighting, like making a fighter fight someone else's fight, and they don't
No,
do well
yeah,
at it.
it's-
I
yeah.
get,
Well, it's like anything.
Think of it like this: like a fighter who picks up a fight because somebody gets injured, picks it up on 4 or 5 days' notice.
Yep.
Sure,
Doesn't
sure.
know any, no planning goes into it, no
Yeah.
real. So I mean, it's the same kind of thing.
Well, it was like this weekend, Damian Maya
He actually
Weedman.
did really well, though. Chris did well. I was surprised. I thought he looked pretty good for somebody who took a
He
fight
won.
on short notice. No,
Did
I
he
know
win?
that's but yeah, but-
Against Damian Maya,
yeah,
who's
he
a
won.
crazy high-level jiu-jitsu black belt.
Biggest fight of his life, and he
Decisioned
won.
it out, yeah.
But I thought he looked sharp too.
Listen,
I mean, it was-
Fox is so bummed. They do UFC on Fox 2, they have 3 fights that are insanely hyped. You got Chael Sonnen and Michael Bisping, more trash talk in that fight than all fights combined.
Yeah.
Rashad Evans, Phil Davis, which is the backstory is Rashad Evans wants to fight John Jones. They used to be at the same gym. Rashad felt slighted by coaches who were favoring Jones. He left the gym. There's this huge bad fallout. If he wins the fight, he gets to fight Jones. And then Damian Maia, Chris Weidman, which was a late pickup, so it wasn't as exciting. All 3 go to boring decisions.
It's sad.
Horribly boring decisions.
Yeah.
Horribly
and this is
boring
this is on the
decisions.
tail of the first Fox
yeah.
UFC, which was the
Dos Santos
quickest,
Velasquez.
most. I was like, what happened? What a
Bing!
what
I'm
a
out.
waste of time. So much talking by the commentators, then the fight, and then it's like it's over.
Well, they're trying to figure out the model too, because on a pay-per-view, you get a quick knockout, you're playing other fights.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any of that ready, and so all they did was talk.
Yeah, which I don't like.
It did not make
It's not. Yeah.
the UFC look exciting.
Yeah.
But the good news is the 2 rematches that I really, really want to see. I want to see Rashad Evans, John Jones. I'm excited about that. That one.
That'll be a good fight.
There'll be lots and lots of trash talking going into that fight. And Chael Sonnen, Anderson Silva too.
Oh, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah. Because you hate,
I gotta watch that with
hate
you.
yourself some Chael Sonnen. You
Oh,
love Anderson Silva.
I love Anderson Silva. And I
Yeah.
hate me some.
You are an
Chael.
Anderson Silva fanboy.
Oh, man, yes.
Yeah.
But even if I wasn't,
How much did you
anybody
love
against
the
Chael.
Anderson Silva Damian Maia fight? Oh, you didn't like that one, did you? That's the one where he almost got kicked out of the UFC even as champion because he ran away the whole time.
Yeah,
In Abu
almost.
Dhabi when they were paying millions.
That's the one where
millions.
he almost stopped being. What is he now? Like 9-time defended his
just
championship. Something
brutal.
like
The
9
most winning,
times
the
now.
most titles defended
Yeah.
of any champion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just.
Yeah.
I just try and remember that
different
anytime
levels.
I
Most
hear
wins in
these
a row in the
critiques of
UFC
him,
too,
I
isn't
just-
that right?
Yeah.
Sweet. What's that?
Does he have the most wins in a row
Yeah.
in the UFC?
Yeah, it's tremendous. I don't know what happened, but when he came to the
Here's
UFC,
the funny thing,
he just
too.
like found.
Is everybody gets so mad. Like he ran around in that fight. He did. You
Yeah.
know, he did some funny stuff in that fight too.
Yeah.
And when he engaged, he made Maia look like
When he drops
a
his
white,
arms and starts doing the
made him look like a
headlock.
white belt.
Yeah.
And people just, I mean, they hated him for that. And I'm like, wait.
Taunting.
Remember all the knockouts that you watch over and over and over again? Remember how he couldn't miss with Chris Lieben? That was his, wasn't that his debut in the UFC when Lieben was just trash talking about how he's going to, and he just,
Yeah. Oh, he.
it was bing, bing,
he
bing, 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 bing,
shredded
bing.
him.
Oh, when
It was
he
over.
Just slapped Forrest Griffin.
Oh,
into,
yeah.
into
I mean,
unconsciousness.
He
Remember
has
when he
made
took
some good
Rich Franklin's
fighters look
nose and stuck it
stupid.
on the back of his head?
Yeah.
Was it the worst break you've ever seen in your entire
that was
life? And then
rough.
did it again?
Yeah.
In By the way, if you're Rich Franklin, why would you go back into a fight with that guy? You get beat worse than you've
You know
ever
what?
been beat in your entire life.
Much respect to Rich though. He's a tough guy. And he's a good guy
and
too.
got beat again that bad.
Yeah. I think he wanted to see if it was a fluke, but it obviously wasn't. And he's somebody
He
who's
was
beat a lot of
Spider-Man
really
again.
good fighters
Oh,
too.
yeah. I heard Rich Franklin talk about that fight, and he thought in the clinch, by the way, people that don't know UFC literally are like me when you talked about the Super Bowl. The Muay Thai clinch, where you got your hands behind the other person. He said he thought that was going to be his strong point. And Silva puts on.
Against Silva?
Yeah.
Yeah, Silva
He's
put
got, like,
that
one of
clinch
the
on him,
best,
and he
yeah.
couldn't get out of it.
Yeah.
That's
He
like
just
trying
was
to
like-
grab an eel.
It was kind of like when you're the little brother and the big brother puts his hand on your face and you can't get to him.
Yeah.
That's what that fight was like.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, by the way, my father-in-law was in town. It's the first UFC fight he ever watched. And he's like, I don't like the blood and like da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, it's really not bloody that often. And then Rich Franklin's nose gets moved about 8 centimeters over. And I was like, sorry, Steve. I remember him looking at me
Wrong
like,
fight.
yeah, this is what I didn't want to see.
Yeah.
This is literally the
Yeah,
worst
for
thing
those-
I've ever seen in my life that you just made me sit through.
For someone like that, you got to
Son-in-law.
give them a
And it's
BJ
real.
Penn fight. He doesn't bleed ever. So you can hit him with a truck in the face and he doesn't seem to bleed.
Until he fought Nick Diaz
Till
last
you catch
time.
him underneath the eye.
Oh, really?
Nick Diaz,
I
BJ
didn't see
Penn.
that fight. Did he
Little fountain
bleed?
pen.
Of all the fights I've ever
Bleed?
seen of him, he just didn't. He
Gosh,
doesn't
was a
bleed.
better,
He'll get hit in the face with a brick.
Yeah.
and
Could
not
you
bleed.
recognize him after that fight was over?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was
I'm sorry, I missed
unrecognizable.
that.
Yeah, he looked like the Rocky thing afterwards. It looked like stage makeup. It did. It looked like someone actually made him look like he
it
got
was
beat
real.
up. Tobin Heim, you've been studying.
I have been studying.
Tobin did not want to look
I spent more time than I should have this weekend. I watched.
Calhoun printed out fight card pages.
I have his same pages right here on my screen.
Me too.
More for
Looking
the
at it.
lower half of the fight card. I didn't know
We're
how
only-
deep
we-
you'd go.
we don't need-
so.
No, we only need deep top.
That's why I was like,
I'm only prepared
I could
to
talk about it for hours and hours. We would lose listen. Remember when we were live? MT engineered my program for 3 years, 2 years,
2+. Yeah.
2+ years. And you could see how many listeners and how many watchers you had live. The longer I talked about UFC, the numbers would literally visibly go down.
Wow.
Visibly. I would talk about UFC and
Thermometer
it's
in
like
the freezer just
lose. And I could see MT's face like, you lost half. More than half. You're not stopping.
plummeting.
3/4 of the listeners are. Okay.
you gotta love
All right,
Ryan's
so here's my
commitment,
take. I watched some video.
Which one are you going to go with first?
I looked at stats. I'm going to do Diaz Condit.
Let's do that one last.
Really?
Let's do Koscheck
Let's work
Pierce.
our way up.
Okay.
Koscheck Pierce.
Why don't you just tell me what you want to do?
I
Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't have an opinion on this one. I
What?
think maybe Koscheck. He's
Yeah.
fought a little bit longer.
Koscheck came
needs to
into the
win.
UFC as a wrestler with nothing else.
Yeah.
He had nothing but wrestling. He still beat dudes.
He's
Wasn't
got a
he?
bad elbow
Handedly.
today.
He what?
He's got a bad elbow.
Ooh. What was the
get you
Japanese
down.
fighter that he knocked out on his? That was a scary one. Yeah.
He'll get you down if he gets full mount on the ground.
He's
With his
got,
elbow.
He's got skills. Yeah.
It's tough.
Koscheck's wrestling is,
Scary.
there's been only a couple
Are you saying
people.
I picked right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
agree.
are we picking who's gonna win or who
Who's
we
gonna
want
win?
to win?
No. Who wins?
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
You can say who you want to win and who wins.
Well, against
I think it's Pierce.
Koscheck, I always want the other person to win.
Oh no! See, I
don't like
I
him.
love the Koscheck.
Unless
hate.
it's Chael
love it.
Sonnen.
Yeah.
If it's Chael, then I'm a
That'll
Koscheck
never
fan.
And I don't. Okay, explain to me why you dislike Koscheck like that, because I don't know why people dislike him.
The way he was when he was a coach on the Ultimate Fighter show, he just came off as
Arrogant.
just kind of a jerk, just all
Wait,
the way
who did he
around
coach
a
against?
bully. Who was he coach? George St. Pierre.
Oh,
It was him.
And
so wait,
and
let's-
GSP's like
GSP doesn't talk.
Here's the deal.
Yeah, exactly. So if
You've got a Canadian picking George St. Pierre, French Canadian.
Shocker.
You've got a Canadian picking Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, the only thing he could do to be more like Jean-Claude is do the splits in the ring in the cage when he got in.
It's true.
Like get two folding chairs
Except
and sit with the splits. You
he
know.
is still winning. Poor
Well, he's
Jean-Claude
been-
Van Damme is
he's
not.
been-
he has not won in a while.
Wow. He's still around?
Yeah.
I think he's producing like his own movies.
He
and stuff,
probably
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only way
Yeah,
we're going to
of
get done.
of course, Canadian picking the Canadian.
Yeah.
I'm actually going with Pierce on this one.
Yeah.
By the way, I came in. I was coming in today because I've been teasing Canadians about being America's hat, and they're teasing us about being
Great way
Canada's
north.
boot. That was seriously one of the best comebacks.
Yeah.
That was really
Coming from the United
great.
States, also known as Canada's boot. Yeah. So here's what I want. Because when George St. Pierre gets announced, it's like coming from Quebec, Canada. I would love it if coming from Quebec, America's hat. That would be a good one.
As a Canadian, I actually wouldn't mind that because French Canadians
By the way, the
and
laughing that
Canadians
just
are very
happened
different.
was
Very
that was
different.
charity
Very different.
laugh.
We're actually
Sam
we're
and Toben
actually
didn't
not
really
the
think that was
biggest
funny.
fans.
They just laughed because I'm the host.
They're very different people.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question about GSP?
Yeah.
Because I watched some video on him. Is he legit? I mean, is he the real deal?
Oh,
Very much so.
it's
Yeah.
Because he comes off as pretty even keeled and
yes.
like he's not super fiery.
Yeah.
But he's
Hey,
like,
did
I've been
anybody
in more
watch
street fights than
Dedicated.
probably anybody else.
Yeah. He's
Dedicated.
Anybody but
he's
me
a
watched
brawler.
Primetime Condit Diaz to prepare for this?
I did not.
Crickets. Yeah. GSP talked
I watched
and
it.
said, "You have no idea how dark it is inside my
I
head.
watched it.
Wow.
You have no idea."
But he doesn't look it when you look at him from the outside. He, doesn't
didn't have
look
an
like
easy,
a super dark guy.
easy childhood, did he?
He was
But
talking
he's-
about
yeah.
Diaz in an unflattering light, saying, "You have no idea."
It almost gives you chills when you hear those comments because you're like, this
Yeah.
dude is.
That you've never seen someone with
There's chaos.
control.
you've never seen
fury.
someone with a
Yeah.
work ethic it's that high.
That's the thing that
Did you
impresses
see
me.
the workouts that he was doing?
who learns they looked at him. By the way, he didn't grow up a wrestler. Okay? He learned wrestling for MMA.
Yeah.
And a year ago, they were looking at him for the Canadian wrestling team
What?
for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were asking Dana White if he could leave MMA for a year and wrestle for the Canadian Olympic team.
He's
That's
a specimen.
impressive.
He freaks me out
That's
a little
impressive.
bit. Like he's just icy cold.
And here's the thing, because they're like, oh, but he's doing decisions now. He fought who's Diaz's partner? Jake Shields,
Oh yeah.
Strikeforce champion,
Who's
fought
really
Jake
good.
Shields, who poked him in the eye on accident in round one.
Mm-hmm.
Round one, and serious eye poke to where he was blind in one eye for 4 rounds.
Oh my gosh.
He still he made Shields. Shields is this mad jiu-jitsu guy
Yeah,
who's
Shields
taking
is
dudes
really
down left
good.
and right. He couldn't get one takedown with a guy with one eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, it was a boring fight. Listen, then you're not really an MMA fan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
okay.
So you like Koscheck?
Yeah.
I like Koscheck.
Pierce Koscheck. You want Pierce.
I'm Pierce. Yeah.
Who do you think's going to win?
I think Koscheck will because he
Of
needs to. He's lost a couple in a row.
He's lost a couple to champions.
Yeah, but still, it's your ego doesn't differentiate. Is what, I'm saying.
What do you do,
he'll
though, when
feel the
you're-
need to. He'll be very motivated.
When you're a guy like Koscheck who can beat virtually anybody in the 170-pound category except the champion.
That's
what do you do?
frustrating. Yeah, you think about going
Train
down
harder.
a class. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he can.
Yeah, I don't think he can either. but
5'10", going
that's
from 170
frustrating.
to 155, that's a big
That's
cut.
a big
Yeah.
jump.
You're going to lose a lot
Yeah.
doing that. MT, who do you think?
The Q-tip.
Hang on a second. Engineer Mike wants to...
Now, wasn't it you who said for football, isn't it a stretch to say, oh, but we lost to the champ?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm saying, what do you do?
Yeah.
Because
that's
he's
a good question.
the only one he's losing to is the champion, so he's not going to get a belt. That's what you're there for. You're there for the belt. You're not there to be like, I can beat everybody but the champ.
Yeah.
That's
You open an MMA school.
I'm the second
you
best
do.
person ever.
You
That's
train,
nice.
You train others.
but-
KMT.
That's what you do.
Who is it?
It's tough.
Q-tip. Koscheck.
Koscheck.
I think he's got something to prove. This
The
time.
Q-tip.
I mean, they always do. Everybody always does. But it comes down to.
It's time for a win.
I think it's time for a win. I think that he's going to win. Koscheck always seemed to me to be very much in his game plan, but somewhat reserved, almost like he was holding back just a little bit. I don't think so this round. I think he's going to.
Whitney, you did some preparation for this.
A little bit.
Is this the first UFC fight you ever ordered?
Yes. Not the first I've ever watched, but first
Right.
I've ever ordered.
All right.
So we'll see if I'm
And
right.
Koscheck Pierce?
I said Pierce based solely on the fact that he looks like Pete the Millionaire from Friends. When he went to go be the UFC fighting champ.
Oh, John
he's like,
Favreau.
Yeah, John Favreau.
John Favreau.
I was like, that was the only one that I didn't have like a clear decision on. And so I went with,
Interesting.
he looks
like
like
it.
Pete the
That's
Millionaire.
what I
Okay,
look
I've been looking at the records of some of these. Like Ed Shortfuse Herman has had 26 fights fighting a guy who's had 8 fights.
Right, exactly. And he's got a
8.
nickname like Short Fuse.
He does.
Yeah.
He is straight low
that
blow.
guy.
And
Is
he's
he crazy?
He's very ginger.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier against Max Holloway. Dustin's fought 12 times, Max 4 times.
yeah.
Now, not that these guys can't come out and just dominate, but you've got some guys with some serious records, and then you're like, wait, you're fighting who?
Yeah.
All right, so you think
I think Pierce.
Pierce? Sam?
I'm saying Pierce.
Did you prepare at all for this one?
A little bit.
A little bit.
I think Pierce has got a little bit more. No, I'll take it back. I think he's got less of a striking capability than Koscheck, but I think we're going to be surprised.
Yeah, Koscheck's going to dominate him.
No,
It's going to be
I
embarrassing.
think Pierce is going to do it.
All right.
We'll see.
I will say this: if Koscheck loses this one, I think he's kind of done.
You think?
What?
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Yeah, no,
brings-
he
brings-
I'm not saying done as in he's out of the UFC. I'm saying done as in we'll never really think of him as like
He'll never
make it back up to the top. Is basically
I
what
could
I'm.
see
what
that.
I'm
You think he's
getting
reached
at.
his peak as
I think so.
skill set wise?
Yeah, if he can't. Yeah, if he can't
I can believe
finish
that.
Mike Pierce after a couple of losses, I mean, he's highly motivated. Like, if he doesn't bring
All
it
right.
this time, I think he's just kind of peaked.
Okay.
I can see that.
Okay, so now we're doing Nelson.
Roy Big Country Nelson
This-
versus
I'm
Fabricio
excited about
Verdum.
this one.
Okay, here's
Both of these are Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts.
Here's my take on this. And this may have no basis in logic. Nelson outweighs Verdum by
Verdum.
by 30 pounds.
Well, here's
Big
the
Country
thing.
outweighs everybody.
No, he
And so
doesn't though. This is
Like,
that's
why
He's
not
actually
his
not
Nogueira?
that big of a guy. But
no, that's not his weight anymore. He lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, he's like
for his-
252.
Yeah, he's down.
So how am I
wow.
supposed to work if I'm not getting
Yeah, I was
good
gonna say
stats?
that.
You're not getting the real
well,
changes a lot.
listen,
man.
it didn't change the belly though.
Wikipedia.
The belly, there's power in that belly. I'm telling you,
there
he's
is
got fire in
So
the
I'm-
belly.
The reason I'm picking
Smother factor.
The reason I'm
Big Macs
picking
in there.
Everybody
there
that he
is.
beats says the same thing. If he gets on you,
You're not moving that belly.
No.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
That's why
It's
I'm
sheer
picking.
mass.
and he knows how to use it.
Yes,
he
yes, of
really,
course.
really knows how to use it. And he's fast on the ground. He's fast on his feet.
Yeah, he's
And people talk about
surprisingly
iron
spry.
shin.
and he has good cardio too,
He
which
does-
you would
yeah.
never
So I'm
expect.
picking.
Shocking
I'm picking
cardio.
Nelson because his body type is closest to mine
I'll knuckle you on that one.
of any of these fighters.
Yeah.
And his nickname is Big Country.
Yeah.
How do you vote against the
By
guy
the
who's
way,
named Big
you ever
Country?
seen Big Country's wife?
No,
Miss
She's
Big Country?
so tiny.
Really?
Of course.
She weighs like 100 pounds.
She
maybe.
didn't get away
She's
from
like
the
a
belly
lap
either.
She is the
That's what happened.
cutest,
She couldn't get away from the
cutest
belly
little
either.
blonde
Really? Nobody
girl.
can.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Smother
great
factor.
seeing them together.
That's
when he used to
interesting.
fight in IFC. And win everything. I mean, he just dominated
yeah.
all the
He's
heavyweights in
very
IFC. She'd come to the ring afterwards. It was, she's the size of one of his legs.
I just think
He's a big
I
one.
think he's a big guy.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to use his
He
weight
moves.
to his advantage.
He always surprise people. Come and like, oh, that guy's not
Are
going
we
to
hearing
do.
your pick?
Is that your pick?
Are you? No.
Oh, we'll go around. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with
the way that you're-
Big Country because
Punch it in.
I will tell you, I've never seen anybody execute the crucifix as well as he does.
Oh.
Once he gets those arms
Remember him
pinned,
just embarrassing?
it's just-
who's the guy with
it's shameful.
the guy with the beard that's not in the UFC anymore?
Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo Slice.
I mean,
oh, the fearful Kimbo
Yeah.
Slice, who has
he-
literally
The
no
worst
ground
record
game.
Yeah.
in UFC.
And
but
None.
you know, the thing is, like,
How many times did he punch him? It wasn't
like
super hard punches, but it
100
was
times in the face.
it was like 100 times.
Yeah, like I'm not exaggerating. It was like that many.
Here's what I want to know about that fight. He's got him in a crucifix, where it means his legs are holding one arm. He's got another arm holding the other one, so he literally can't defend
And he's
himself
got
at
his
all.
belly pinning the midsection, so the
and
head's
he's
just exposed and
He's
unprotected.
doing these, they're baby punches, but he's punching him in the face over and over and over. It's like, it's one of those,
Yeah.
you're punching yourself, that kind of things. The rule in the UFC and MMA is if you cannot intelligently defend yourself, they end the fight. They let him punch
They
him
let him punch him for a long time.
because it wasn't doing damage, but that's not what it says.
that's not what it
That's not
says,
the
yeah.
rule. The rule is well, maybe it's intelligently.
Intelligently defend you. Well, he was moving his face back and forth trying to avoid the punches, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
He was blocking punches with his beard.
I honestly though, when I saw that, and he's done it to a few other people too.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the expert of somehow getting into that position. But the thing with Big Country is, I tried to imagine what it would be like to be pinned down by that gut.
Yep.
And have your arms just completely like
Listen,
useless. It would be it'd be like a nightmare.
Yeah. He lost to Andrei Arlovsky because of a bad stand-up. He had a dominant position.
And
he was
Arlovsky does have
dominating
fangs on his, which is just
He was dominating him on the ground, and the ref stood him up.
Yeah.
And even the commentators were like, "What are you doing?" And then he got to go to the stand-up game, and it's like, "Nah, that was silly." Yeah. MT.
I like the country, although I'm going to be contrarian on this fight and pick Fabricio for a couple
Not
reasons.
agrarian, but contrarian.
Yeah.
One, I think the reach difference.
Didn't
is
Verdum? Isn't he the
significant.
one that submitted Fedor? Is that him?
Fabricio has ham hock hands. I mean, he's throwing cinder blocks, which I think could be problematic. And if country can't get in on him, he's going to have trouble. Plus, just because the equity and the weight distribution there, especially if Big Country's lost some, is going to be in Fabricio's favor.
Yep.
They're going to be essentially the same.
Yeah, Verdum's
weights,
the one that triangled Fedor.
4.5 inches taller.
Yeah.
4.5 inches greater reach, about the same weight. I hope to see it be a slugfest.
It'd be tough to get
Not a
inside on
smother
him.
face. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Well,
if
it's
gonna
like
be
when
a
you get two
slugfest,
wrestlers
though.
against each other, at times it can be a really boring fight.
Right,
but you've got two Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black
It only takes
belts.
Yeah,
one
they
to
both know what
decide
to
that
do.
they're not going to do what everyone
Yeah.
expects.
Right,
And then you have
right.
a mismatch.
Yeah.
Whitney,
I said Big Country.
fan of the Big Country,
I am.
voting for the belly.
I'm voting for the belly.
Yeah.
Big belly.
It is.
He had, well, in my research, because I'm not an expert, but he has more wins and he has more knockouts per win
Oh yeah.
than anyone else. So
Yep.
Good
17-6-0
research.
versus 14-5-1.
Yeah.
It's
Sam
close.
I think I think Werdum's going to stay away.
Verdum.
I
Sorry.
say Werdum because that's how it's read.
WRDUM, yeah. All right.
I think
he's
the
going
phonetic pronunciation.
I think he's going to stay away from Nelson's hands. And he's going to try to get him on the ground because how many times have you seen Nelson submit somebody?
Have I seen him? More than I could count.
Right. Well, see, this is the thing. I really think his hands are more powerful than his submissions.
Nelson?
So, yeah.
I do too.
So I think that he's going to try to keep him on the ground.
And you're still picking Verdum?
Yeah.
So you think his submissions and hands are better than Verdum?
Hands down. But I'm going for a surprise.
All right.
I think he's going to do it. I don't think the belly's going to hold on this one.
Is it like a Tebow surprise?
It might. At Denny's.
When you brought up Fedor, that's a good point you make because there's a belly involved there too.
Yeah. Listen,
So
Fedor
maybe
was
he
one of
has
those
like the kryptonite for the
unbeatables.
bellies.
You know, that could be true.
Just the leg kicks.
So you're right. Maybe Verdum is
I think he's got
he's
some
a
knowledge
black
behind
horse.
That
him.
you're thinking
Dark
of
horse.
Krokop.
Oh, I am thinking of Krokop.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, the one guy who really knows.
Oh, Nelson.
Yeah,
totally.
the one that's really
I
good.
want to see what Nelson looks like when he comes out because he had the worst beard and the worst hair I've ever seen of any fighter in the history of fighters last time he came in. It was
He
embarrassing.
looked a little bit like a homeless person.
A little. You couldn't have picked a person that looked more like a homeless person.
loves
most
feeding off
well-fed
the
I say
homeless
that every
But here's what I
Sunday
love.
about Bill Belichick.
I love that before
homeless.
I'm sorry.
before the
Belichick.
press conference, he cut his hair and shaved his beard. So he fought looking like that and then came to the
See?
press conference looking like a totally different person.
I like that.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, headliner.
Oh, boy.
Headliner, Nick Diaz, Carlos Condit.
I don't want to go first on this one because I'm afraid I'm going to look like an idiot if I get it wrong.
So listen, the primetime Diaz Condit was fantastic. Fantastic. But the interesting thing is talking to Nick Diaz's coach, and he's like, what does he do on his day off? Runs marathons. What's he on his other days off? Runs triathlons.
Yeah.
That's what he does for fun. He's been running triathlons for fun.
Here's what I'll say. I'll go. I watched a lot of commentary on these two guys.
Yes, you did.
I think the one thing that sticks out in my mind is his coach, Nick Diaz's coach, saying he does not have an off button.
Yeah.
He does not have an off button.
Yeah.
And I look at him and he seems more ferocious, more intense, more angry, more street, more all this stuff. Now, who would I want to hang out with? Carlos Condit. I want to go out, shoot some guns and have a good time with him. And he seems like a decent guy. He's got a kid, he's a family guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think Nick Diaz is.
Isn't his dad a senator?
I was
Politician.
I was literally afraid of Nick Diaz, and I don't even know him. He just seems like a
I was
scary
surprised
dude to me.
because it is hard to find a photo of Nick Diaz smiling. You can find
he never-
a billion photos of him giving that angry, mean mug face.
Yeah.
But in UFC, the Carlos Condit Diaz Primetime 2, it showed him laughing and hanging out with people and
he still scares me.
friendly on. I was like, what? This is totally new Nick Diaz.
I think he's absolutely.
But now you're going to
terrifying.
go against Joanne's pick because Condit's nickname is the Natural Born Killer.
Yes,
And
Joanne
Diaz
would
does not
picked
have a
Condit.
nickname.
Right, but I still, when I saw those two guys, I thought, who am I more scared of? I'm more scared
Yeah,
of.
when
Nick
you have a
Diaz.
face like Diaz, you don't need a nickname.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say his is a fill in the blank. It's whatever it needs to be.
By the way, Nick
for the
Diaz
next
had
fight.
had facial reconstructive surgery because his
Orbitals were
that
orbital
explains
bones were
pushed in.
they were splitting his eye out. He was getting split open over the eyes so much that a surgeon went in and filed down the sharp edges on his orbital bones.
What?
Yeah.
He was
he's the
literally
first
getting his
fighter to
face
do that.
smashed in.
Yeah,
I mean, he's such a good-looking man naturally.
I'm going to
committed.
go
Come on.
and disagree with you on that one.
Okay, so my pick is Diaz all the way. Absolutely Diaz. You got a family of fighters and they're all good. I mean, those guys have been beating each other up their whole
Listen,
entire
Gilbert
lives.
Melendez, Jake Shields, Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz. I mean, that whole
Nate
scrap
blocks
pack.
crazy
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. And I think it'll be a great fight, but I Diaz all the way.
All right.
I can't believe you backed me up on that.
MT.
As well, 3 for 3.
Wow.
And really, I would say it was a toss-up between sheer fury and more skill, because I actually think that Carlos Condit has greater UFC general skill. Not beat up skill, but general he's more elusive, put it that way.
Technical.
He actually avoids more damage than, say, Diaz, who walks into it, right? Steps in front of a train.
Yep.
That being said, Nate Diaz has put on 5 pounds of muscle. He looks bigger than I've ever seen him. He's always that big, lanky, loop the outside and never going to die. You add some muscle to that, just ugly.
Yeah. Yeah. Whitney?
I'm going against the grain, I guess.
But you think Nick Diaz is a good-looking guy.
Because she would date Carlos,
Nick
that's
Diaz?
why.
I thought you just disagreed with MT and said he was good-looking.
No, he said he was good looking.
was
and
being
I
facetious.
said I'm going to go ahead and
okay,
disagree with you on that one.
I was like, wow, because he's had his nose broken a few times. He's got
Yeah, no,
I've
He's
got
a lot of things, but
He's
good looking is
definitely
one of
not
them.
a looker.
my left eyebrow is split down the middle from having it split open. He's got like 8 of those. So you're going Condit.
I
You're going natural born killer.
How can you go against Woody Harrelson? Come on.
Wow, she's bringing the movie in.
Wow.
Impressive.
Too many things to say about that one. Yeah. Because Woody Harrelson and Nick Diaz have way more in common. And it would sound like this. Yeah.
I don't
put
know.
that one on camera.
Yeah. Let's just
Natural born killer. Sam Bhatt.
Killer.
I'm afraid of Diaz.
Yes, sir.
I
Me
think
too,
that's
actually.
why I would choose that he would.
Exactly.
I mean,
Like on the off chance that he's listening right now, I don't want him to
I'm
hear
going to
me
say
pick
he's
against
going to
him.
win because if he finds me, I will cry. And
the other quote that I
go home.
loved about him is when his coach said, if it wasn't for time limits, he would never lose.
Yeah.
If you just put him in the ring and give him the time,
holds
he
barred,
beats everybody.
I think that's it. Did anybody see him fight Daly? Paul Daly? Paul Daly knocks out everybody. He's knockout artist. Knocked Diaz down a couple of times, and they're just in the pocket, swinging for the fences, and Daly's connecting, and it looks like this is it. Looks like Diaz is going out. Diaz clips him. It's over.
Yeah,
Full
has
KO.
Diaz ever been knocked out? I don't think he has.
Nope.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have a true button.
Here's the thing. Here's what Diaz has. What you'll look at when they're training is Condit punches harder. So he looks like he's got more power. What Diaz has that people forget and they underestimate is accuracy. He and his brother have this, I'm only going to hit you with 50%, but I'm going to hit you on the button every single time. Every single time I'm going to hit that mark over and over and over. And those punches add up so quickly, that's it. You can't fight
Doesn't have
against
to be
that.
hard quite often.
Because they call it pity pat fighting. They call it the pity pat punch. And it's like, yeah, the pity pat punch that knocks dudes out over and over and over. The other thing that he's got that's vicious is going from head to body.
Oh, yeah.
His body shots, it makes you hurt watching
Well,
it.
and there'll be 4 exchanges of 4. So head, body, head, body, head, body, head, body.
Yeah.
Before the breath.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy.
You ever seen anybody in MMA do combinations like this? People doing 1, 2, maybe 3. Rarely. Rare you get a guy that's like, oh, punch, punch, kick. You know, you got 3 in a row. He's doing 8, 10 punches, you know. But when he goes, like he fought Frank Shamrock. And, I mean, it just over and over and over and over just knocked him down.
Yeah.
MT's got like 2 minutes left. So I'm going Diaz all the way. I don't think Condit has... I don't think he's got a chance. He's a nice guy. He really, and I love Greg Jackson. If anybody can put a game plan together,
from
his
a coaching
coach,
perspective,
Greg Jackson, could put a game plan together to, you know, and here's what it might be. Diaz has not done great off of his back against wrestlers. Now, Condit's not a great wrestler, but maybe that's the plan Jackson's got, to just point him, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think Condit wants to win by points, though. He wants to actually come away going, oh, yeah, that guy won. So I'm sure we talked way too much about the UFC. I apologize to everybody. Whitney's agreeing we talked way too much about it. But hey,
But it was fun for you,
talked about
right?
football for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That counts for something.
Listen,
a while.
every program's fun for me. That's why I do this.
This is his football knowledge since last year's Super Bowl has grown
Exponentially.
exponentially.
Here's the
I
deal.
can tell you,
could
having done
offer
this
me
show-
$1,000 to tell you who was in the Super Bowl last year. It would only be a guess if I could name one. I don't have any idea.
I bet you could if you really thought
could
back.
do it.
I was on that show with you where we talked.
We talked about it?
Yeah.
Not a clue.
You know, we could drive.
Who was in
over.
last year?
Yeah. Moving on. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Of course, I
And you don't remember
It was
Green
Steelers,
Bay?
really?
In Green
In
Bay,
Green
because we
Bay?
had
Yeah.
Steve and everybody around here was
Oh,
fired up.
yeah,
Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Pat killed it.
Hey, if it
Who
means
won?
anything, I picked the
Cash.
Steelers.
Did
but-
you?
Oh,
We should have
it's
won.
even worse for MT.
We should have won.
Your team lost too. They made it all the way. Oh, heartbreaker.
We were a wild card team. We shouldn't have been there.
So everybody, have fun. Watch Super Bowl. Watch UFC. You might like
Yeah.
it. You never know.
You never.
Add a new
It's
sport
really
to your
entertaining.
repertoire. It's very entertaining. Yeah. I was telling my dad about a UFC fight recently, and he goes, I have about as much interest in this as you do in the U.S. Open. I was
Wow.
like,
Wow.
That really
U.S. Open
That's a
tennis or
big-
golf?
that's a big gap for me.
Your dad is so poignant. I mean,
We should communicate for a living.
I was like, you can't even pretend for 5 minutes. Just, no.
Not gonna happen.
Can't happen? All right,
Nope.
cool. Thanks for listening. God bless. It's been an hour. Enough of this silliness. Whitney, close us out. Don't you say something in the music in the end?
Dun, dun.
She sings.
Yeah,
I
she
don't
does
think.
I tried.
No?
I was like,
Hey, here's
Wait,
what I
I'm
want to know.
playing this.
MT,
She
can
almost
you
did.
can you work with
Really
Whitney
frightening.
and do a metal version of Party Rock Anthem? Of
course I can.
all real instruments.
Oh, of course
Can
I
we do that?
She's got to sing, though.
Yeah.
That's
you
a
would.
deal.
Party Rock is in the house tonight.
There you go. We lost the engineer. He's gone. Wait, no, MT. Do you need to leave?
I do. I got to.
Okay, you take off because I have to do one more because you sang and I forgot.
You did forget.
We didn't talk about fighter walk-in music. You know why we didn't talk about it? How many times did I text you and remind you? Remind you to talk
remind
about
you?
this. Yeah.
I was trying to get your attention for a while, but I didn't know how to be like,
Really?
stop you and.
So is
Yeah.
this the music you want
Here's
to walk
how
into
you
as
get
a
my
fighter?
attention. Interrupt me. Yeah.
You're thinking about the music you want to walk into
Yes,
as a fighter?
and I was thinking about it because Keith Jardine, there's a YouTube viral video called Techno Viking out there. Okay, anybody seen Techno Viking?
That's the one with Elmo.
No, there's some rave going on, and there's a gigantic guy who looks a lot like Keith Jardine, and someone comes out and like punches a skinny, tiny raver kid, something along those lines, and then Techno Viking comes out of nowhere and just throws the guy out, you know. And then you've got this gigantic, muscle-bound guy dancing around to rave music.
I need to see that.
Okay, so we're picking
Keith
music?
Jardine came out to the Techno Viking music. I think it was Keith Jardine. Maybe it was somebody else, but did the Techno Viking dance all the way to the ring. And I thought, how awesome would it be if someone like Vanderlei Silva,
Oh, geez.
whose nickname is the Axe Murderer,
That'd be intense.
or Rampage, or someone like that came
the
out.
natural born killer.
Yes, if Carlos Condit came out.
But Woody Harrelson really came out.
Yes, that would
no.
be cool. I would watch that.
You see Condit coming out, and he's got that look on his face like, I'm going to kill everything. And he's got the hoodie on, so it's overshadowed.
I'd be afraid.
And then Party Rock Anthem came on, and he danced his way to the ring. You'd never forget that.
Oh yeah, but better yet, I mean, like
If Diaz came out and did that,
If Big Country came out and did that,
there you go.
I'm telling
there
you,
you
I'm
go.
telling you, somebody
I'd die
like
happy.
Rampage Jackson coming out to Neil Diamond would be amazing.
That would be
like
fascinating.
hello, my friend, hello. That
the whole menacing overtone to it.
With that, yeah, that would be
Like
be
the
pretty
irony
amazing.
of it?
Who is it that comes out to Andrea Bocelli? There's somebody who comes out to Andrea Bocelli and Sarah Brightman.
Yep.
Does anybody come out to Enter Sandman by Metallica?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
someone
low
comes out to that.
levels. A lot of low levels.
Oh, really? Because that
yeah.
seems like that would be a very menacing song to enter
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Tyson used
Maybe
to come
not.
out to some Tupac that I thought was pretty menacing.
Yeah.
I walked down the aisle after we got married to Jungle Fever.
Nice.
That was pretty memorable.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm not a UFC fighter though, but I
Still.
got married once.
Oh man.
I would come out to Billy Squire, Lonely as the Night.
I would do some Johnny Cash. like
Anybody know the opening?
Man in Black or
No?
something.
I should play it. I'm not going to, but I should. No, it was that, or there was a Metallica song I was listening to the other day that I thought would be good. All right, Toben, walkout music. What would you choose?
Walk out music?
Yeah.
I'd go Enter Sandman. I think that's a very menacing.
Oh, it'd be pump. Yeah, it'd pump you up.
It pump you up. You're like,
I know what walkout music you'd come out to.
what?
Baby Monkey riding on a pig.
Baby Monkey, that would be awesome. Nobody would ever forget that riding on a pig, baby monkey.
Yep.
Yep, I'm with you.
Nice. See, I
I
know
like
it.
that one.
That's memorable.
Calhoun, Canadian. What are you going to come out to? Celine Dion?
Canada.
Man, there's
Avril Lavigne? Come on, Whitney. Help me out. Canadian
Canada.
bands.
No, you got to come
Ryan
to
Adams?
Blame Canada.
Yeah,
Blame Canada.
that's right. There you go.
Ryan Adams?
No. Yeah, it was Brian Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah, to really love a woman. That would be great.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
What would you come out to?
It's fast.
Well,
Whitney and Sam are going to have to pick, so be thinking.
yeah, you know what? I would want to do something that would probably get some laughs or throw people off a little bit. So I'd probably do. I probably would do Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison Blues. That's everybody loves that song, and
If you want to make people laugh, you come out to Boy Named Sue.
Boy Named Sue would be great. Or
Metallica's Motor Breath is the one I was thinking of. I come out to that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
intro, oof.
Scary. Or the guitar solo from One, when it all just really takes off.
Wow,
You
it
remember
takes
that?
off. Sneezing 3 times on mic.
That would be.
There's
nice.
parts of One that.
All right, Whitney. No, I want to come to Whitney last. I want to hear what Whitney would do. Sam, what would you
Good.
come out to?
I knew mine
I'd
immediately.
She's like
probably
Britney
do,
Spears.
Journey, Wheel in the Sky, because I'd get knocked out so quick.
Yeah.
That's all I see is a bunch of whole wheels in the sky, and they keep turning and turning, and I'd be done.
I learned
I'd
that
be
on
done
guitar.
pretty
That was one of the final things that MT would know this. Wolf Marshall is a famous guitar instructor. And that was my guitar teacher way back.
I'd
He taught
have
me
you,
Wheel
I'd
in the
have you
Sky.
play it live as I walk in.
What's his name from Albuquerque that I don't like? Diego Sanchez
Oh,
came out preceded by a full mariachi band.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah, I don't think he won very well, and he might have even lost on that fight. And it was like,
High
your
school
hype
jazz
was too
band.
big.
Yeah, hype was way
High school
too
jazz
high.
band.
Hype was way too big.
Would be
Yeah,
awesome.
This is the one I'm looking forward to.
All right, I'd choose Billy Squier, "Lonely as the Night" or "Motor Breath" by Metallica. Whitney, you're getting ready, okay?
something from the Footloose soundtrack.
Hailing
Totally.
from Denver, Colorado, Whitney Ohman.
That girl is poison. Never trust a big button to smile. That girl is poison.
There we go. You win.
Man,
Yep.
that hands down.
You win.
she won
Yes.
that one.
Yes.
Nice.
That's
Whitney, Professor Lonely Donkey Kong. Oh man.
That's my Wu-Tang name for those of you that haven't been listening all week.
Yep. All right, we're gonna close it out. Then we're gonna find out Calhoun and Sam Bhatt's Wu-Tang name from old mucky
I
Terra
got
Hawk.
mine. I got
Thanks for
mine.
listening. God bless. See you on World Magazine Monday with Warren Cole Smith. Have a good weekend.